Hello, my name is Beck and today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review for Paper Girls by Brian K. Vaughan. I read this recently and I really enjoyed it, but before I started it I did come across some mixed opinions on it, and so I wanted to do this review so I could share my thoughts clearly. When I first picked this up I was expecting it to be more of a contemporary book, but when I actually read through it, it had a very heavy sci-fi twist, so I definitely wouldn't class this as contemporary at all. It would definitely fall in the realms of sci-fi. And given that Brian K. Vaughan has also written a really heavy sci-fi series called Saga in a comic book form as well, I kind of saw that coming and I'm not really mad about it. I love sci-fi, so the fact that this became from a contemporary into a heavy sci-fi book, it was something that I really enjoyed. So Paper Girls is set in the 1980s on the night of Halloween, and it follows a bunch of girls who are paper delivery girls, and they kind of stumble across the most supernatural and interesting story of all time. The back of this book says that it's a suburban drama and supernatural mysteries collide in this smash hit series about nostalgia, first jobs and the last day of childhood. And that kind of does come through a little bit in the first volume, but this is more of a plot setting up volume, and I found that this story kind of took this volume to settle because I got hooked on the very last page. I was interested reading through it and the characters did intrigue me, but by the last page I had been grabbed and pulled in, so I'm definitely going to be continuing on with this series. In terms of character, I did find that two of the girls were drawn pretty similarly, and even though I loved the art in this book, I did get a little bit confused as to who was who, but again, like I said, this was still setting the ground for the rest of the volumes to come, so that doesn't really dock too many stars off this for me because I did really enjoy it regardless. One of the girls also did have quite crass language and she was just a very abrupt character, and so to be crass did really suit her, but the fact that she was throwing around slurs as a 12-year-old was a little bit excessive, but she did get called on it in the actual narrative, so that wasn't really a huge problem for me. It was a little bit like, oh, she's saying that, but then in the next panel or the next page she was told off for it. So it's not like it kind of slipped under the radar and it was accepted, which I really liked. This was very mysterious and I didn't really know what was going on, but I did really like the little things that we were shown in this book. There was a spaceship and a little bit of time travel potentially involved and creatures that weren't quite human as well, and I really like those unveilings because it hints at a lot of world building that's still to come and a lot of explanations that are going to surprise you. So just overall with this book, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. The characters are starting to grow on me. I did like one or two of them more than the rest because the rest seemed to kind of blur together, and I feel like we follow about 4 or 5 girls in this. I really liked the potential for the world building that is going to happen, and I really loved the hook on the last page. Obviously I'm not going to say what it is, but if you want to find out, please read this because it really did kind of blow my mind a little, and I'm excited to continue on and find out what these girls are going to do next. I really also enjoyed the heavy sci-fi elements in this. I don't want to say too much because it does spoil you, but there are like spaceships and creatures that aren't human, and so I like the potential that those characters bring to this as well. But if you do like Saga by Brian K. Vaughan, it's likely that you'll enjoy this as well. It's got the same kind of tone in the writing, it's got the same suspense, and it's got the same kind of hints at plot that will be revealed later, and it's also got some characters in here that have potential to grow a whole lot as well. The colours in this are absolutely beautiful and the writing is really lovely, so it will definitely be very good for someone who's starting out in the comic world because it's really easy to get into. This was just such a gorgeous mystery and I really loved the last page. I can't wait to continue on, and I gave this 4 out of 5 stars like I said. I would definitely recommend this. I did initially approach this as a contemporary book, but don't do that because it's not a contemporary book, even though the premise of the 1980s with the girls delivering papers sounds like it would potentially be a contemporary book. Let me know if you've read this book, let me know if it's on your TBR. I would love to hear from you. I really enjoyed this and I can't wait to continue. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye!